What's happening, guys? My name is Anthony, and in today's video I've got another track guide for you guys, and this time we're going to be checking out Silverstone. Obviously the Silverstone Grand Prix is happening this weekend, so if you're new to my channel and you don't know how my track guides work, basically I take you around the circuit slowly, giving you all the details on how to be quick in the game, and then I'll show you a lap in real time so that you can see how to tackle the circuit as fast as possible. So let's get into Silverstone and let's learn how to master this circuit. Okay then, guys, so as usual, as you're coming towards preparing for a hot lap, you want to make sure that you take as much of a wide line as possible, because that will allow you to get as much speed going down to the first braking zone of each track, and Silverstone is no different. So yeah, you're going to be probably in fourth gear here. Just stay wide. You want to stay wide because again you want to attack this corner a little bit differently to how you would at the end of the lap. So then get your foot on the throttle nice and smoothly. This is a very tricky traction zone, I've noticed. So easy to lose the rear end of the car here, but anyways, start a lap of Silverstone, and then the first corner is completely flat and you want to sort of take a wide line. In this year's game, you really want to be smoother with your inputs, because unlike last year, scrubbing is actually a thing, and scrubbing will make you lose time with this new tire model. So you want to turn in a little bit earlier, just so that again you're not turning the wheel fast and scrubbing all of that speed. So use all the track that's needed, turn in early so that you're not scrubbing that speed, and be smooth with your turning as well, and then ride over this curb. You want to use as much of it as possible, and obviously you're going to come out a bit wide here. You're probably going to find yourself around about here for the second corner. What I like to do is just let the car drift out a little bit wide and then start turning in, just so that you're not taking too tight of a line through turn 2, and then turn 3 is going to be where you have your first braking zone of the circuit. Now in this one you're going to be braking as soon as the curb starts, or just after the curb starts. You don't really want to be braking on the curb in this year's game the same way that you did in last year's game, or else the car's just going to bottom out and it's going to cause a lot of issues. So at most, if you feel confident enough, brake in a straight line, and you can put your left hand tires on the curb whilst braking as well. If you're not confident, then just leave that, of course. Brake in a straight line, you don't want to be locking up, especially in this year's game. Down into fourth gear, and then boom, you want to hit apex just next to that red sausage curbing there. You obviously don't want to hit it, or it's going to lose too much speed. This corner is pretty tricky, turn 4, because there's no real reference point on where to turn in and where to brake. You've literally just got to do it by memory. The best thing I can give you guys is to take a look at the black box on the right hand side screen just underneath the timer. Maybe use that as a reference. You want to keep the car in the middle of the road, because if you go too much to the right, then you're going to lose too much time on the turn-in phase of this corner, which is going to make you lose time all the way down to turn 6. So you want to stay in the middle of this road, and then boom, you want to turn in, stay in fourth gear, or if you're using the default setups, you want to maybe downshift the third gear just to get that rotation in. And then once again, you want to hit the apex, boom, you don't want to hit the curb, or else you're going to lose a lot of time. In this year's game, you can actually use the exit curb. You don't really seem to lose that much time. If anything, you can actually gain time by using this exit curb, and especially using this green astroturf thing there. Just gives you more grip, and then you want to be as smooth as possible. Don't take too much curbing here. If you go on the yellow sausage curbs here, it will unsettle car, you will bottom out, so make sure to just miss those. Open up DRS, and of course use all the exit curb if you need to. It's all the way, you're just bombing it down to the end of sector 1, beginning of sector 2. This corner, you can use the curbing because you're not going to be braking very, very hard, and it doesn't seem to be very, very bumpy either, so you can use this curb just after the 50-meter board. You want to just quick dab on the brakes. You want to hold it, so you want to be quick on the brake, but then slowly bleed off of it, and then you want to downshift into 5th gear, or again with the default setups, if you need extra rotation during the corner, then you will shift down to 4th gear. Miss those red curbings here. Now this is a late apex corner, so you do want to stay wide at first, and then you do want to hit the apex right around about here when you get to those red sausage curbs on the left hand side. Then again, just hold the car in. Don't want to go too wide here, because as you can see, Luffield's a very long right hander, so if you go here, you're making this next corner way too tight. You're going to lose way too much speed. So you want to keep the car roughly around here if possible, so that you can really turn in and attack this corner, and you want to hug the inside here. The outside line will just lose you too much time on the game. So yeah, you want to hug the inside here, get on the throttle as smoothly as you possibly can, and then use all the exit curb basically bring the car all the way to the gravel, and then you want to keep the car just centered because you want to keep the car straight as you're getting on traction during that traction limited phase, and then you can come off of the curb just before you get to the grass. And then up until Copse, you just want to take the line of least resistance, of course. And coming up to Copse, it's in this year's game, it's not flat, similar to 2021. You're going to be in 8th gear coming into the corner. You want to start turning in just before the 50-meter board, I believe. And then downshift into 7th gear. This is a lift, no braking, just a lift. And then downshift into 7th gear. Now you know you've taken the best line through this corner when you're getting real close to these red sausage curbs here. So you want to boom, go through that line there. And then I've noticed on my laps personally, when I actually drift the car out wide towards here, I actually lose a little bit of time going down into Maggots, Becketts and Chapel. So try and keep the car not towards the middle of the road, but just away from the left hand side of the track. You just lose a little bit of time, and then obviously want to be back on the right hand side in 8th gear going into Maggots, Becketts and Chapel. So going into Maggots, Becketts and Chapel, turn in. You want to use this curbing up until the red sausage curb here, because obviously you want the widest line to attack Maggot. So yeah, coming into it, 8th gear. This is a completely flat corner, so is Maggots. It's completely flat. You basically want to be as close to or on this red sausage square curb as possible. And then this is where you start to have a slight lift, and a really light braking. This corner is probably going to be quite difficult if you're not using load cell brakes, but you can get used to it. You can obviously build up that muscle memory. Small little brake down into 7th gear. You want to be on this green curbing here. You want to be on it, and then keep the car just a little bit more to the left for a little bit longer than you think you would need to. Because right now, all your instincts is probably telling you, turn right. Keep it to the left for just a little bit longer, and boom, one downshift into 6th gear, getting light on the brakes, and then start to turn in. This allows you to tap the corner a little bit better, and actually carry all that speed all the way down to Stowe. Want to use all the exit curb, of course. Open up DRS, and then boom, you're just bombing it all the way down to Stowe on this back straight. Get some time to really think about preparing for this next corner now. Stowe, very tricky corner. Probably want to be braking either in between the 50-meter board and the curb, or as soon as you reach the curb, if you're confident enough on the brakes. So as soon as you reach the curb, boom, want to brake down into 6th gear, turn the car in as smoothly as you can. You don't want to be scrubbing off speed, of course. And then you want to just about hit the curbing there, and use all the exit curb possible. Obviously Stowe's a corner that you can't go wide at, or else you will invalidate. And then for the final corner, you obviously take it a little bit differently to what you did at the beginning of the lap. You're going to be in 7th gear coming into this corner. You want to brake as soon as you hit this curbing here. Now on this year's game, do not want to be braking on this curb. The car will bottom out, and in some cases it will actually beach on the curb, and you could literally be fully turning your car locked, and the car will still just be going straight. You can fully just grind across this curb. So I wouldn't recommend braking on this curb like you did in the previous game. Down into 3rd gear. Get that rotation in, boom, upshift to 4th gear. Then for this corner, you can put the tires on the red curbing here, but that's about as far as the limit I would go. If you're not that confident, maybe just get to as close as the red sausage curb as possible. Again, this is a very tricky traction zone, so easy to lose the rear of the car. And then coming up to do the final corner, boom, hit this curbing here. Then that is a lap of Silverstone. Now, as we've gone over this lap, you've probably seen glimpses of how to take each corner. I'm now actually going to put those together and show you guys a hot lap in real time around Silverstone so that you can see how to tackle this circuit. So that's going to be it for this guide around Silverstone. Now I pass it over to you guys. So make sure to go to Silverstone, whether it's in GP mode or whether it's in time trial, and put what you've learned to practice. And also let me know in the comment section down below how much time you was able to save thanks to this track guide. And make sure to smash the like button if you've learned something. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're new, and make sure to click any one of the 4 videos that you see on the screen right about now, and I'll catch you guys in my next video.